This year's from People. It's from July 7th, 2023, still pretty new, and it says, why Amber Heard had to get out of the US last year after Johnny Depp trial, exclusive. Well, I'll tell you right now why. Because she lost the trial and she had very few fans and friends left in the US. She had nothing to lose by going to some place where a lot less people know her on average, and she could do something there without getting all the criticism and rightful callouts. But let's see what People says the real reason is, because that's just my silly little opinion. A source tells People the actress who received death threats and became the subject of cruel internet memes felt there was too much chaos stateside. Okay, so is there ever a time when Little Miss Merritt is not playing the victim and saying it's someone else's fault? It's so strange. When someone always says it's someone else's fault, I tend to think they're not quite getting it right. Now, things happen to people. Sometimes it can be other people's fault, but not always, not every time, not when it's always something so important. Internet memes? What? Look, some celebrities are liked more than others, but pretty much every celebrity at some point gets internet memes made about them by someone, especially in today's atmosphere where politics are split down the middle. If an actress or actor leans to one side, the other side just hits them. And that's it. If not, the people in the middle do. That's kind of a normal thing, I think. Anyway, here we go. Amber Heard moved abroad last year because she felt she just had to get out of the US following her defamation trial with ex-husband Johnny Depp, a source reveals in the new issue of People. Man, People's got so many sources, and they mention none of their names ever. None of these people ever want to come out and say, yes, this is me, this is my word, here's my platform, here's who I am, so it can be taken more seriously. Out of all these articles, about 2 a day or something, they've always got this source that never wants to reveal themselves. And when that happens, once again, I tend not to believe it. They say what they mentioned before about the chaos, and they said she left the country with a 2-year-old daughter, Paige. Okay. They do say Johnny was defamed, and that Amber alleged, well, all those terrible things we know. They say she used to live in California, in the desert, and that she said the verdict moved women's rights backwards. So, when you're found guilty of defamation over a 6-week trial, that's going backwards? Seems like exactly correct to me. But what do I know? Once again, silly little opinion. I'm no lawyer. They say under a different name, at first when she got to Spain, she rented a house, then moved to Madrid. They say she's got some routines like jogging and things like that. So, what do we got here? Trying to figure it out. Give me a second. They say the trial was beyond stressful. She wanted to start fresh. She's got new energy. They say there's a TikTok video of her answering some questions from a reporter. And she said she loves living in Spain. Well, this is one big, interesting, important news report, isn't it? And then they mention her new movie, and she went to a film festival. So, whoa, what is this here? They've got like one little line about why they're telling you she had to leave the US, and the rest is just stuff we know from the last month. It's a beautiful movie about the almost supernatural effect and force of love. What if I was subscribed to People for money and I got this stuff and like 85% was what the article before said? I wouldn't feel so good about that. They talk about the director, how he's one of the Simpsons, stuff like that. They quote him, we're not going to read it, and actually the quotes are pretty long. And that ain't got nothing to do with it. And that's the end. So here's the moral of my story. This article is completely hollow. I could stick my whole arm in here, move it around, and find nothing. They're basically writing this to say that there's memes out there about Amber and that she got these threats, so she had to leave. I haven't seen a single threat, actually. And if she was getting them, I'm sure someone could post them on their Instagram, on Twitter. on whatever, I'm sure people would print those. I mean, there'd be no way to know they were actually real, but at least they could put them out there. At least it would be an attempt. But no, I'm going to stick with my original theory when I first started talking that she has very few fans left in the US and she wanted to move someplace where she'll get less criticism, things like that. That's naturally how it goes. When you move countries, there's naturally a shift in everything around and how you're perceived. That's nothing wrong with the people in the country because that's not their country. I'm sure they got news in Spain, absolutely, of Amber, but it wasn't the same as being in the US, I don't think. Let me know what you think about that. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't, I'll be real sad about it, but I'll get over it. See you next time.